What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about vinyl. So I randomly found this movie on DVD a couple years ago. I was at my local library, and you can like rent DVDs there. They also sell them. So there's this little they have like a little sale in the basement, and I was like, oh, vinyl, what the heck is this? I've never heard of this in my life. Oh, it's about like some punk rock group, and it's got some comedic elements. Let me check it out. So yeah, I just checked this movie out on a whim, bought it for like 50 cents, and I was I was like shocked. I was like, this movie is awesome. Why does nobody talk about this movie? How have I never heard of this? So yeah, the other day, I was browsing Tubi as I do, and I was like, oh, vinyl's on Tubi, and it's only an hour and 25 minutes. Nice little short watch. I'm a big fan of 80-minute, 90-minute movies, so I'm like, let me rewatch Vinyl and review it on the channel. So yeah, I basically already told you all my opinion of the movie. I'm a fan. I think this is a very good movie. I like the premise. I think, the story is fantastic, and the comedy is on point. It's a fun time. So yeah, big fan of this movie. Now I'm gonna jump into the plot summary. So just like a couple. Let me just get a couple things out first. So this film's from the UK. It's a British film, and it is loosely based on a true story. It's a fictional movie, but it's based on a true story from 2004, where a band, you know, put out their song, like with this like fake band. So there you go. But anyways, jumping into the plot summary. So the plot centers around this washed up punk rocker. His name's Johnny Jones. He was in this group called the Weapons of Happiness, and he's not doing too much. He's chilling, reminiscing on the glory days, and he goes to this funeral, and he reconnects with his other band members. They've all moved on. They have successful careers doing all kinds of other stuff. They've grown up. They have families. They're making bank. They're driving Bentleys, and Johnny's just he's the same old guy. He's the same old punk rocker, just still trying to relive the glory days. So anyways, they the band members reconnect at this little funeral, and after the funeral they get drunk AF. They hit the bar. They're sipping all kinds of beers, and they roll back to one of the band members' houses. He's balling. He's got like just a mansion. Like I said, he's got a Bentley. He's big boy balling. So they go to the one band member's house, and they were sipping some drinks. They got a good little buzz going. They're turned up. So they're like, what the heck? They grab some instruments, and they just like record a song impromptu. And basically Johnny listens to the song the next morning. He's like, he must have been blackout drunk, because he didn't even recall that they made a song. He's like, who is that? And they're like, that's us. We did that last night. He thinks the song is fantastic. He thinks it has potential. It could be a big hit. So he goes to all these labels and tries to, get signed, get a recording contract, and none of the labels want anything to do with him, because there's no longer any interest in his band, and he's old. A lot of these labels, their like target demographic is, I think it was like 18 to 30 or something like that. Or no, tweens and 20s is their demographic, but they won't sign anyone over 30. So yeah, they're not gonna sign the Weapons of Happiness again. They're all, past their prime. So Johnny comes up with this genius plan that he's gonna get this group of young kids. They're gonna audition to be in the band, but they like none of them know how to play. They're just gonna lip sync the song, and they're gonna do a video, and then once the song does become a hit, then the band is gonna come out and say, you know what, this was all a facade. This band is not real. We're the people behind the song. So that is the basic plot summary. And like I said, that's a pretty unique story. I think it's a very interesting story. So there you go. But anyways, jumping into some random stuff as I do. Since this is a British film, I just want to shout out some UK shows that I like. I like a lot of British shows, a lot of shows from the UK. I watch British shows on the reg. So In-Betweeners, I've seen that entire show multiple times. I used to watch, I watched that in high school. In-Betweeners is my jam. I like the movies too. In-Betweeners is a straight classic. That's like one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I also like the show Peep Show. Very good show. Excellent comedy. Fresh Meat is also a good show. There's this show called White Gold, which is on Netflix, about these sleazy 80s window salesmen. It's amazing. If you have Netflix, check out White Gold. It's only a couple seasons. Fantastic show. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. There's also this other show from the UK that I like. It's called Plebs. It's a super hilarious show as well. And then right now I'm watching this show called Bad Education with Jack Whitehall. He was on Fresh Meat, and I'm only on the second season right now. But this show Bad Education is absolutely phenomenal. Super, super, super hilarious. So shouts out to all the individuals from the UK out there, because you all make some hilarious TV programs. Like British comedy shows are some of my favorite comedy shows. They're fantastic. So just since this is a British movie, I thought I would shout out some British shows that I like, because I watch them on the reg, like I said. So yeah, had to give a little shout out. Now I'm jumping into some other random stuff. A scene that I really liked. This was like very early on in the movie. It was within like the first couple minutes. So the main character, Johnny, he like I said, within a couple minutes of the movie starting, he buys a big old bag of weed from this little kid. This kid's probably like 10 years old. He probably buys like an entire ounce. So he buys this gigantic bag of weed from this little kid, and then he goes and he smokes with his elderly landlord, and they're just like chilling, smoking, and I'm telling you what, that's my kind of comedy right there, and that just sets the tone for the movie. Like, if a movie starts and the main character is buying weed from a 10-year-old kid and then proceeds to smoke the weed with his 76-year-old landlord, I'm into that movie. Like, I don't even care what happens after. I'm invested. I'm like, my eyes are glued to the screen. So, I mean, what more can you say? You got this old washed up rock star buying ounces off little 10-year-old kids. That's beautiful. It's a marvelous scene. I really enjoy it. That's my kind of stuff. Another point that I want to address is I like how this movie showcased the band just jamming and making this song kind of on a whim. And in my opinion, some of the best songs are made like that. They're made kind of impulsively. You just, like with a lot of creative pursuits, I feel like some of the best some of the best ideas, some of the best art comes out of that kind of manic energy. Because with creative stuff, you can't really force creativity, and you can't be creative all the time. You'll be in like a creative slump where you're just like, you don't really have any ideas. Like, they just have to come to you. When they come to you, you just got to go for it. Like, you just got to go balls out. So I really like that they showcase that, because from my experience doing creative stuff, not that I'm Mr. Arts and Crafts over here, I'm not very creative, but I used to like dibble dabble with recording some like little rap songs back in the day, and that's like how I would do it. I would maybe not record a song for a while, but then like one night I would just randomly, get an idea for a chorus or for a line, and then I would just write the whole song in like succession. I would just like sit down and I'm like, I have to finish it, I have to record it. And a lot of times I would be, a couple drinks deep. Like, I'm sipping some drinks and I get some inspiration. So I really liked that aspect of the movie. I feel like that's, realistic for any creative pursuit. You get in this like flow state where you're just like, I got all these ideas, I gotta go for it, I gotta record this song, and then you just make something cool. So yeah, I really like that. And then the last point that I want to address is, I like how this movie explored kind of like the concept of like the music industry and the concept of record labels being shady, because people have known about record labels being shady forever, like since the music industry started. Like, there's instances way back where people have these bad contracts and they don't own the rights to any of their music, and there's so many legal issues. So I really liked that they kind of tackled that concept, and it was done so well. The record executive in this movie, he's like this young guy. He was such a sleazebag. Like, he was trying to sue them, and like, there's this one instance where Johnny's like, yeah, we wanna do the video ourselves. When I was in the Weapons of Happiness, we did all our videos ourselves, and the record exec, he's like, no, we want to get some young director, we want to get our crew to do it. He's like, you don't know what you're doing. And then this kid in the band, Drainpipe, he's like, no, I think we should do it ourselves. And then the record executive, he's just like, oh yeah, that's a fantastic idea. Like, like just like a second after. And yeah, like the band tries to make the information public, and like I said, I already said that about them, like the record exec threatening to sue them, but yeah, that's because the band threatened to make the information public. But there's so much shady stuff with this record executive in the movie, and just the record industry in general, and I really like that they touched on that. It was pretty darn cool, pretty darn neat. But anyways, now that I mentioned Drainpipe, that's one aspect of the plot that I left out. So the lead singer in the fake band, he has this kind of punk attitude, and him and Johnny really bond. And there's this whole subplot where Johnny thinks that this kid might be his son, because like the kid pulls out this picture, and his mom was like a groupie back in the day, and it was this chick that Johnny got with. So yeah, that's like a subplot. And then there's also a subplot where Johnny, his current girlfriend is pregnant, and then like I said, there's part of the like one big element of the plot is that the band wants to come out with the information, and they actually tell the record executive, and then he threatens to sue them. So I kind of left that stuff out in the plot summary, so my apologies about that. But yeah, that the stuff about all the record label stuff and the music industry stuff, that was the last point that I really wanted to address. So I'm going to give my recommendation, and then I'm going to head out. So like I said, I think this movie is phenomenal. It's super funny. It's a great story. For any, I mean, most people are big music fans, so it's a fun, music-centric movie. A 10 out of 10 would recommend. I think this movie is phenomenal. It's underrated. Nobody talks about it. It's on Tubi right now for free. So if you have Tubi, check it out. It's only an hour and 25 minutes, so I would absolutely 100% positively recommend it. So yeah, that's all I have to say about Vinyl. I'm gonna head out here. Thank you all very much for watching, and peace out.